All right, so this link here, this is the little scan QR code. That goes straight to my Calendly. If you want to have a 15-minute strategy call where we can just talk about where you are and I can help you just plug in somewhere, that's what that call is for. If we've never talked, if we haven't had time to really network, that's what that call is for. Just sign up. It goes straight to my calendar. It fills in where it fits in, okay? So do that. I'm happy to talk to anybody. REILiveColumbia.com. I just relaunched that website, so check it out. Check it out.
I saw it.
Did you see it? Do you like it?
I did.
Okay, good. Did it work? I don't know. So
It got me.
it got you here. Perfect. So applause for me. Thank you. We also have our YouTube channel that is getting revamped, and we will be adding a lot more instruction there because we've kind of been doing it on Facebook, and it just doesn't keep it very well, doesn't keep it cataloged. So you go subscribe to the YouTube. All right, before I dive in to the lesson to help you guys close more deals when you get to the closing table, we talked a little bit about just now about you not having that support system, and kind of it's hard today in your world, in our world, to be that lone entrepreneur, that lone person trying to get above average, right? So I just want to ask you guys, I want to make an agreement. If you guys will take this stuff, I'm asking you, will you take this stuff that I'm going to show you and implement it in your business so that you can close more deals? Can I get a yes? All right. If we can agree that you will take this information and implement it and put it in practice, then I will agree to help you with these strategies that I'm telling you about, okay? Can we agree to that?
Yep.
So if you have a question, if you go and you're closing a deal and you have a question about one of these three things that I tell you, just call me, okay? Text me, YouTube, comment, find me on Facebook, smoke signals, whatever it is, okay? I will agree to help you with these strategies as you work them, okay? Because I know that I cannot tell you everything today. I know that you will miss stuff because either I missed it or because there's a lot of info, okay? So if you guys will agree to implement it, I will agree to help you. We good? Good. Solid? Solid. Cheers on that? Good. All right, let's get started. So 3 tips, 3 tricks that work today and will work in your business to help you close more deals, close more, and close them for more money. Who wants to do that? Sure. Okay, good. Right people, right room. All right. So first thing is to know who you are. Who knows who they are? Yeah, that's a tough question, right? Yeah. We have a few people in here that I know who they are because they've done one of these personality tests. They've done a DISC test, a Myers-Briggs, the predictive index, whatever it is. I know Chavis has probably done 1 million of them. So this is something that a lot of folks maybe have never done. Who has never done a personality test? It's okay, no judgment. All right, yes, exactly. There's a couple of you. Who's done these tests but never saw the results and never actually studied their results to implement it? Yep. So the people that have done the test actually didn't really use the test. A lot of people in corporate America do these tests for their manager, but they never see the results, right? You never get to know what it was. Your manager puts it in your HR file and it goes away. And they probably don't even look at it. Michelle will tell you, no, she looked at them. She's an analytical, yes. And she would use it and she would put you in the right seat on the bus and she would cater to your strengths, all right? So that's what I'm talking about. We use DISC, D-I-S-C, in our business. That is the one up here on the left. Guys, I know these are going to be hard to see. It's just what it is. This video will be up and we will actually just give you these slides too. It'll be on there. But the DISC, D-I-S-C, that shows you dominance, influence, conscientious, and steadiness. Those are those 4 personality traits. Okay? Each one of these personality tests, guys, there's like 16 of them, personality traits tests. just pick one. If you want our help, if you join into one of our group coaching or one-on-one coaching, any of our group systems or programs, we will help you analyze your DISC. So if you take the DISC test and you join in with our groups, we will help you go through that. Michelle will actually read it for you. She's pretty good at it, and she'll tell you what you should not be doing, which for me was closing deals. Because, and I'll tell you right now that the, what am I? C. I'm not a D. But is it ID? I'm IC or CI? Whatever it is. The C. I'm the C first. C first will almost always give the seller $5,000 more than they wanted to take. Right? Who is it? Who is it? All right. Raise your hand. So who should not be closing the deal? This guy, right? Because I know the stuff. I know I can train people, right, Rochelle? I trained a whole bunch of salespeople. But if I get in there, I'm going to give them more than they need. And I'm going to do it because I know that I can be happy. I can live. I can make my profit. So why not give them a little bit? Give them some. They didn't ask for it. They didn't need it. So what is that ultimately doing for my business? I'm fired. Taken away from my business, right? It's a lot less money. It's a personality trait, guys. I can change it when I'm in there and I know I'm doing it. I will literally say, "Crap, I'm doing it," and I'll offer $10,000 or $5,000 less than what I was about to say, just because I thought of it and I have no rationale other than, oh crap, I know that about me, so I will offer less. If you go do this test and you know that about yourself, what can you then do? Fire yourself, number one. Find an acquisitions person, which Regina just left. She's a high D, which for anybody, high D is what you want for acquisitions. So you can either fire yourself or you can know yourself well enough to know that if you're in that room, you need to offer a little bit less than what you feel like you should. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's a ton of personality types. If the one right there on the right, I think that's the predictive index. I can't remember. Yeah, that's the predictive index. Defender, executive, counsel, entrepreneur, entertainer. There's tons of them. But what you want to look at is what are the traits that it's telling you about, okay? The high D, which is the dominance, okay? So those things are results-oriented, strong-willed, what does it say? Direct and forceful. That's your acquisitions, okay? Me, on the other hand, is the hospitality, reserved, precise, systematic. Yeah, exactly. Should not be buying the deal. So what you want to do is get these, and we have it laid out to what job you should be in. So if you bring us a DISC profile, we can actually tell you what job in real estate you should be doing. Now, you're an entrepreneur, right? You got to do all the jobs. That's fine. But if you know that you're not a D, you're a low D, then when you go into that appointment and you're in that closing, you just got to dial in that dominance. Now, don't be beating people, like hitting them or not, but dial in that steadiness, that not forceful to a fault, but hey, this is the deal, this is the price I need. You dial that in. You think that could help you in closings if you knew yourself?
Absolutely.
Do you think you can get a couple grand extra?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good. So we did good on one, right? All right. 1B. Now you need to know who they are. Okay? I'm telling you guys, the people in this room, y'all all are going to stand out in your market space. Most of you probably are working in Columbia. That's fine. You're not all going to be getting the same deals. I haven't talked to the same owner that I'm sure any of y'all have talked to recently. I'm sure that we are all talking to different owners. But you're going to stand out to that owner, that seller, because you know who you are and you know who they are. Because you're going to speak to them in a way that they hear. Okay? And now I didn't add this on here, but tell me the book. What's the name of the book? The Pink and Blue Megaphone? I should have put it in there. So the idea is men speak with a blue megaphone and hear with blue ears. Women speak with pink megaphone and hear with pink ears. Love and respect. Okay, so that's a book that we did. It's a guys. If y'all are ladies, if you're married, you should get that book. Okay, this is not relationship advice class, but you should get that book. It's really good. But that's the image I want you to think of. Is that person that you're sitting across the table from? They may not be the same personality type as you. So this list here, this is the 4 main personality types that you can hear a lot about, and all those other tests kind of boil down into these 4. The 4 are the driver, the analytical, expressive, and amiable. Y'all can write those down. I'll tell you again. Driver, analytical, expressive, and amiable. Don't worry about spelling. Just write it how it sounds. So the driver is that high D. They want to be in control. They want to be in control. The analysts, the analytical, they like the numbers. Tell me the numbers. Guys, if you're in a closing or in a... you're trying to close a deal, you're sitting across from the seller and you got the contract in front of you, and you are talking to an analytical person and you just say, I'll offer you $50,000, and you don't tell them why with numbers, they're going to tell you no every time, unless they have absolutely no other option. Why? Because that analytical person, it doesn't compute. They want to know where these numbers are coming from. And if you break it down, say, hey, Joe, your house is worth $100,000 when I'm done with it. Right now it needs X, Y, Z in repairs. It's going to cost me $25,000 to do those repairs. I've got to finance this. I've got holding costs. It's going to closing costs. I need to pay a realtor. All that comes to about another $10,000. So now we're at $65,000. Hey, Joe, I'm a business, right? I got to make a little bit of profit. We need to make a 20% profit. All right, Joe, so that takes me from 65 down to about 50,000 that I can pay you for this house today. I could pay you cash right now. We'll close in 30 days. How does that sound, Mr. Analytical Joe? He's going to hear that with his analytical ears, although you may not be analytical, but if you know that he is or she is, if you can speak to that, do you think you can get more deals done?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, this is psychology, it's science, this is real. It happens every day in our business. If you get a driver, who's ever gotten on the phone or in front of a driver, you knew immediately that guy or gal wanted to own this conversation. They were in control. They were not going to let you take control. You're nodding your head big time. They want to run the conversation. They're going to tell you what you're going to do before you even say hello, right? Who's had that conversation? Can you spot that driver a mile away?
Oh, yeah.
What if you knew how to talk to a driver? Would that be helpful?
Definitely.
So who hears the driver and immediately they shy back? They're like, oh, crap, I can't handle this guy. Who in here does that? Bishop? Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It takes work for me to do it. I got yelled at a lot in hospitality, so I don't really care anymore. I was the GM, so all the bad stuff came to me. I just, whatever. So those drivers, they could just talk to me all day long. Whatever. But it takes a toll on you. It's difficult if you're not that driver personality. If you are also a driver, you might start butting heads, right? Anybody seen that before? If you're trying to get a deal done, who's the driver? Which one of y'all are the driver? Quinn's calling you out. So a driver and a driver can butt heads. Are you going to get a deal done if two drivers are doing this? Nope. What's going to happen? Bye. Somebody's getting pissed off and the deal ain't happening. What if you know that guy or gal's a driver and you are too, because you know yourself and you know, dang, I'm taking a back seat. I got to back off. I got to sit in the passenger seat. I'm not driving this ship. Do you think maybe that'll help you get a deal done?
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom, right? Oh, yeah. Might get a little extra dollars for that, right? So There's pros and cons to all of these personality types, okay? So that driver, they want to take control, they want to run with it, they want to go with it. At first, it might seem like it's hard to get a deal done with somebody like that, right? Because you kind of like, oh, how are we going to get a deal done? Well, guys, everybody likes a little bit of ego stroke, right? So, hey, let them drive. But guess what? You can ask questions that'll steer the car where you want it to go. Okay? So let them drive. Let them take it, and you just say, well, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. That driver will tell you everything about the deal, the house, what's going on, what's happening. And then you can go from there to get your deal done. Okay? So going against a driver, you want to be the one, just ask questions. Just sit back, ask questions. Let him tell you what he wants to tell you. And then, knowing a driver wants to get straight to the point, don't go back and forth with negotiations. Don't tell him I got to call you back. I got to talk with my friend. I got to talk with my partner. No. Make your offer. Because that driver is going to respect that, and they're going to go with you because you can make a decision quick. Even if he doesn't like your offer, he might talk to someone else that takes a day or two, and he's going to call you back and say, listen, I like you. You can make decisions. You were $10,000 off. Can we do it at 50 instead of 60? And now you're in a deal, right? At that point, you're making a deal somehow, okay? You guys see how that works? All right, the expressive type. I want to talk about that for a minute because that will trap you into a really long conversation, really long phone call, really long appointment, and you get nothing. Because expressive personality types will just talk your ears off and really don't have much important to say. Who's ever talked to that person? Yeah. All right, who's that person? Y'all go ahead and tell. There's somebody in here. I know they are. So the expressive person, I want to warn you against this is because they give you a little bit of false hope because you think that you're building really good rapport. You're like, oh man, this is my best friend. We're getting this deal done. I'm going to get this. But you end up talking to them for 3 months every week, and they just want to hang out and talk. And you never get to the deal because they're just your friend. They're just expressive. They like to talk. They like to chat. And you might even say, hey, can we do this deal? Can we sign the contract? And I'm like, sure. Because they're expressive, and they're like, I want to keep talking to you. But then when it comes to actually signing it, they never actually do it. Okay? So if you know you're with that person, that personality type, you need to kind of amp up your driver and get to the point, okay? You don't want to be rude to grandma. I'm just saying, a lot of these are grandma. Michelle knows. I used to be on the phone with these older ladies they love talking to me. It must be my southern drawl. I don't know what it is. And it's like an hour in, I'm like, I can't get off the phone. She just won't hang up the phone. It's got to be the draw. All right, so let me tell you about the amiable personality type, because this is me. So if you want to know about them, just talk to me. So the conflict is tough. We don't want a whole bunch of conflict. We just want to make everybody happy. You know, we're hospitable. Hey, come on in. You know, whatever. They're great when you're getting a deal done because they don't want to make you unhappy. If you can get to them, talk to them, and kind of be on the same page with an amiable personality, it's going to be smooth sailing. Those are the people that Brandy keeps talking to, right, Quinn? Brandy's not here. But she's talking to these amiable people. They'll talk and they'll say, yeah, I don't mind you calling me. That was great. I'm glad you called me. Yeah, I know my house is terrible. Thanks for calling. The problem with your amiable personality type is you might get to a deal and sign the contract, and Bishop knows we've done this so many times, I can't fathom it, but they'll sign a contract, but like for $50,000, but they actually owe $80,000 on the mortgage, and they have no way of paying the other $30,000. Why would someone sign that?
Keep the conversation going.
Because they're amiable and they don't want to say no, because they fear saying no to you because it's a personality trait. It's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah, I'll sell it for $50,000. See what happens. And that's happened so many times, right? That is an amiable personality type that just fears saying no, fears the conflict of telling you no, we can't do it. Is it you guys, other people have seen that? All right, so when you get to that person, you really need to be dialed in on asking the questions, can you do this? And reaffirming, can you do this? You know, is this going to be okay? Are you going to have money to move? We've had that happen where they'll say, yeah, I'll sell it for 65 or 160, but whatever it is. But they don't actually have money to move because they're just amiable. They didn't think that far through. So you have to be thinking through for that amiable person. Now, if you go tell that driver, hey, Mr. Driver, have you thought about where you're going to move? Do you have extra cash for that? The driver's going to be like, shut up. I know what I'm doing here, right? So that's what I mean. Know who you are, know who they are. You guys get it? Yeah. We good on that? All right. We're going to go to number 2. Building rapport. Who's ever heard of that before? Okay. So building rapport is extremely important. And it can take you a long way in this business because this business is a people business. A lot of that goes back to what I was just talking about. So let me just tell you some of the tricks and tips for building rapport that if you do these, it's almost guaranteed that you will get a leg up in as far as building rapport. You'll get to know the person and you will, I feel like, generally like the business better. You'll enjoy it because you'll get to meet people and talk to people. All right, number 1 is listen. Intently listen and let them know you are listening. How do you let them know you're listening?
With your
Eyes, nodding your head. What did you say?
I said you don't talk.
You don't talk? Yeah, you don't talk over them. You might repeat what they say. Okay, and that's actually going to come up in a second. All right, common. Find common ground. Find something that relates to them. This is one that I do naturally all the time. I don't know where, I guess from hospitality. I don't know where it came from, but this is what I do all the time, and it breaks the ice and it gets you going. Guys, this is when you get to a house, or you're on an appointment, or you're on the phone and you're trying to get this deal closed. Why am I not talking about the house? Who knows why I don't want to talk about the house? Building a rapport. The house, yeah, that's what we're going after at some point, but I can't help them if I don't know them. So we're going to build rapport, we're going to get to know them, and we're going to find out what's important to them through this process, and they're also going to find out who we are because people work with people that they trust, okay? So find common ground. I always go back to, where are you from? How long have you lived in the house? Usually, unless I'm at the property, I don't ask how long you lived in the house because I like to talk about the neighborhood. So where are you from? How long have you lived in Columbia or Lexington or whatever like that? What high school did you go to? Michelle loves that because we connect. Everybody connects through high school here in Columbia. Who's in Columbia and you know that? If you went to high school in Columbia, that's how you connect, right? Oh, yeah, I went to LR. Oh, you did? You know them? Yeah, I did. Your church, what church do you go to? Hey, and now we got Gamecocks back. We got football back, and we won. Hot dog! We won. How about them Gamecocks, Are you a Gamecock fan? Are you a football fan? Aren't you so glad football's back? Anything like that. If they say, no, I hate football, change subject. Find a new common ground, okay? So you're just trying to find common ground because what that will do is create a conversation that you guys can build on and get the rapport going. Ultimately, you're going to probably come back to that. I like to come back to those things. So take good notes while you're doing it. All right. Honesty should go without mention, but it's a little bit more than just being honest, like telling the truth. It's being authentic, being you, being who you are, okay? If you go in there acting like somebody you saw on YouTube and you try to be sly and use big words that you don't even know what they mean, then that's not you, and the person will pick up on that. The seller will pick up on that, and it will be an uncomfortable moment, and they will know something's wrong. They won't be able to pinpoint it, but they will immediately know that you're not the one to buy their house, okay? You guys know that. You guys have been talking, you've talked to somebody, and it's like, something's up. It's salesman-y or what, they're trying to be sales, whatever it is. I could tell something's off. I'm not working with them. Okay, so just be you. If you wear a suit and tie every day, wear a suit and tie to your appointments. If you wear a t-shirt and jeans, wear a t-shirt and jeans. Okay, just be you. I will go on and say wear clean t-shirt and jeans, but you know, comb your hair, do all that kind of stuff, but be you, all right? The mirror. Who's heard of the mirror technique? Good, good. We've got quite a few. Quite a few of you haven't heard, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it. This is like rapport building 101. This is number one in the sales book of encyclopedia of how to do sales, right? It's mirror. The first thing that you learn is to body language. Be just like the person you're talking to, which means if they cross their arms, you might want to cross your arms, but now this is getting technical. You probably don't want to put your arms like mine. You kind of want to do the soft cross or something like that, because hard cross is, if they sit down, you got to sit down, even if it's dirty. Okay? Here's a tip, pro tip, write this down. If they sit down and the house is full of roaches or whatever, and it's gross, oh, you know what, before we sit down, can we go look outside? Can we walk outside? I got to just check outside real quick. And then you just stay outside. Just keep them outside. Just don't go back in. Sit on the porch, sit down on the steps, whatever. I have done that before. Guilty. But you got to mirror. You can't stand up while they're sitting down. It's just not going to work, guys. All right? So body language and the tone of voice, the volume that they're speaking in. You can't be higher. You can't be super loud if they're super soft, okay? You got to be down where they are or up where they are, okay? You're not going to compete with a high level, but you want to be higher, all right? The fun part is the speech pattern. When people start saying use guys, right? Or some Yankee term, and you're like, you're a y'all kind of fella, you know, like, use guys, you know, you just don't do it, right? You just can't do it. You still have to be you, but you got to get with the pattern, right? You got to kind of throw in there, maybe throw some slang in that they're using, but you got to be you, okay? So if you're not a y'all fella, I think maybe most of us are, then don't do it.
I can't say we's guy?
I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't say we's guys. So, but mirror, all right? So mirroring is that physical and like the speech, the way they're talking, your physical body language. There's another little piece to the mirror that I'll show you in a minute. Is like an actual specific mirror of what they say, okay? All right, empathy. These 5 things are building rapport 101, all right? So do these 5 things every time you talk to somebody. This is what I would tell you to do, is write these 5 things down and put this on your screen, your home page, your post-it note before you walk into a meeting. Do these 5 things first before you even talk about the house, before you talk about the offer, before you talk about the closing terms, okay? Build this rapport. The empathy is putting yourself in their shoes and letting them know it, okay? So this is, when I say put yourself in their shoes, it's different from sympathy. It's not, you don't want to feel bad for them if they're in a tough situation, but you want to mentally be thinking, what would I do if I was in this situation? Okay? All right, I always say we're on the same side of the table. Okay? Me and the seller are on this side of the table, and everybody else is over there. Okay? We're working together to try to figure out how to get this deal done. Okay? Who thinks that some of these things would make some money in their business? You think you can close 1 or 2 more deals with that? Not hang up on people? All right, this is the pain train, and this was this is an internal thing that I haven't shared this with anybody else. We talked a little bit about it. I think Keisha and I did, or Quinn was there. The pain train is finding pain points so that we can move forward, so that we can make a decision. And this, I want to tell you all with sincerity of saying, you have to use this with respect. You have to respect this technique for what it is, okay? I don't want you guys thinking, oh, I'll just go make people feel bad and they'll sell me their house. Not going to work, okay? The pain train is about just unveiling the pain, figuring out the pain, the problem, the issue that had them call you, unveiling that pain so that we can move forward. Because what happens when people have been in foreclosure for 6 months? They haven't told anybody about it. They've just been in foreclosure, hadn't really done anything to fix it. And finally they call you, or you call them. So for 6 months, they've just been pushing it down, not worrying about it. It'll go away. That person is really good at deflecting and really good at saying, I'll deal with it tomorrow. Okay? This is where I want you to focus on this pain train. Okay? This is the third technique, and it is trying to just get the words out and get the issue out so that you can make an educated assessment of where they are and give them advice. Make a suggestion of what to do next, okay? So here's some of the questions that we use to push to a decision. The decision might be, no, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to let the bank take it. That's fine, because you as a buyer or a deal finder, you guys are like, okay, if that's what you want to do, listen, that's what you got to do. But at least you know now that that's what they're going to do. If you don't get to the pain and you don't make them make that decision, then you may be wasting all your time on that person that will never sell you that house. Okay? All right, so can you tell me more about that? Or the mirror. So the mirror here, in instance, is using specifically the last 3 words that they just said. How does that work? I'm going to show you. All right. Hey, Mr. Smith, would you like me to, I'd like to buy your house. Mr. Smith says to me, I can't sell right now. I've got foreclosure proceeding. I say back, you've got foreclosure proceedings? With the question that kind of go up a little. What does that make you say if you're Mr. Smith? Yes, I do have it. It's coming up next month, right? It opens it up and says, it says without saying, tell me more about that. Do you guys see how that works? Don't use it on your spouses too much, because they will catch on and then they're going to hit you in the head with something, okay? But it works. If you're talking to a clerk at the store and you're just trying to get some information, can you tell me more about that? Or, oh wait, you're out of gas at the pump 3? And then they will tell you, oh yeah, go to pump 5, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If you say that, mirror the last 3 words, they will continue to talk about whatever it is, okay? Use that on your kids. It's fun. Just practice. Use it on somebody that's sitting right here after we get up. I want y'all use it on each other. See if you can even catch it, because you don't really catch it at first, but after a while, Michelle will tell you, you figure it out. So then, how long has it been going on? Right here, we're diving in. We're finding the pain. If they say it's been going on for 2 years, now that's 2 years of them pushing it back, not taking any action. You're pushing, trying to make a decision. What have you done about that? Again, let's get it out. We want them talking. We want them talking, explaining what they've done. Tell us how it's gone. What's been what's worked, what hasn't worked. That's the next questions. So get them talking about it. If every one of these questions produces pain, like they're having issues, like, man, I tried to do something, that didn't work. I tried to do something else, that didn't work. Then you're getting to a point that that they are trying to do something, and you might be their last hope, their last resort. If they haven't done anything, well, then you might say, you know what, you haven't tried this and this. Let's try that. So you're finding what's the problem, what's the pain, and you're diving in on it to get them to make a decision, okay? You're also, when I say I want you to use this respectfully, is you're diving in, so you're finding out, you should be listening intently so that you can find out what is the best solution, okay? Because if they've told you that they tried to sell it on the market and you say, well, I'm just going to sell it on the market, well, that ain't going to work. You're a dummy, okay? So what are you going to do next? I love this question because that is getting them to say, I'm making a decision, okay? You guys, this is a hard thing to do. This is an uncomfortable conversation. Who thinks that this would be easy? This is not going to be an easy conversation. But after you build that rapport, you can do this because you're on the same side of the table and you're helping this person. I genuinely think that this is helping the person, because if they just keep pushing it off, nobody wins, okay? So what's going to happen if you can't solve this problem? That is a forward-looking question. That is getting them to look forward. And when they say X, you get to then say, well, if we can solve this problem, then you can do X instead. Okay? So we want to look forward, because looking forward is really the only way that people that have been stuck in a situation will get out. If they just continue to look down and see this mess of a house or whatever, foreclosure, whatever it is, they continue to look down, they're never going to get out. You got to lift their eyes up and push them forward, okay? So that's why that last question is there. And at that point, you should be able to understand where they are emotionally, okay? So that you can then make a suggestion that makes sense to them. You can be a consultant to them with the real estate being in the middle. That's just the thing that we're working with. Does that make sense for everybody? That was a lot. Does anybody think that Pain Train could help them make some money? All right, so this is one. Use it. Like I said, you don't always have to use this, but if you will know when it's time to go down the pain train. I'm telling you right now, you will feel it. You will know that seller in a heartbeat. You will know that you need to go down this train, okay? All right, guys, those are my 3 tips to help you close more deals and for more money. Does anybody have any questions on that? These will be recorded, so that's okay. So these are my tips to help you when you get to that closing table, when you've already got the seller, you found the deal, and it's time to go. It's time to close the deal. Who would like a little bit of help finding that deal? Anybody? Anybody? Everybody? 2 hands? Good. So the Deal Finders is the club that I was talking about earlier, and this is brought to you by REI Live, and this is the thing that I'm excited to launch today, because this is the first time I'm talking about it outside of our group coaching. And that is going to be our custom guide to finding your next deal. It could be your first deal or your next deal. And it's going to be brought to you by REI Live right here. This is going to be Columbia topics. They will reach all over. This is going to be universal topics and tricks and tips. But I'll be right here teaching it, okay? So we will be doing videos for it weekly, some Q&A videos as they come in, as the questions come in. The training is already uploaded for some of this, and some of it will upload as the weeks go on. If you're interested, all you have to do is scan that, and I'll tell you what you get is that first deal for cheap training. So that is, if you don't have any money or very little marketing dollars, you go through that, and I'm going to tell you exactly which marketing avenues to take. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? And then you just go for it. This program, this guide and club is not for selling deals. It's not for flipping houses. It is literally for finding your next deal. Does anybody want help with that? Awesome. All right. So we are launching it today. At the end of this month, it's going to go to the normal price of $297. It's for the year, and it continues. We'll be updating every single week the videos and the Q&A as they come from you guys, from the community. But right now, if you sign up with that QR code, it's going to be $197 for the year. Okay? So that is for everybody. You can, as many people want to sign up, and the community is there. It's inside of the program. I love it because it's going to give us a dedicated place for people that are actually doing deals. So for those above average people that want to get out of that C zone, this is where I want you to be. Okay? We'll be here. We're going to get deals done. We're going to do them as REI Live instructs. So we will have myself teaching, other teachers that will go through different pieces of it. We will talk a little bit about the disc profiles, all that kind of stuff. So we will have different videos added up. The VIP access for REI Live Columbia will start next month. So you guys are hearing it here first, which will be at 5 p.m. before our REI Live meeting. So it's going to be from 5 to 6. We'll be in this room or wherever REI Live is, which should be here next month. We'll have the door closed, and from 5 to 6 is just the Deal Finders Club, our group, and one-on-one coaching members, okay? And so we will be here as a club talking about the actual deals. and closing deals, going through, hey, I got to talk to this seller. Here's what my struggle is, okay? So that'll be in here, the VIP access for REI Live. The cool part about that is whenever our speakers come from out of town, and I'm talking like big speakers that are coming, we'll have access. You guys can ask them questions too, which is really fun. And then you see the discounts there. Our mastermind, which will be next quarter, the fourth quarter, and then the 1, 2, or 3 day boot camps, which are coming out. Those will be announced this week. They're going to go on the calendar this week. Those will be, what are we in, September? Those will be October, November, okay? So if you want to join, just click that thing there, click the QR code. And with that, I want to invite you all to be deal finders, join the club. But if not, guys, take the stuff you learned today, and if you implement it, I promise I'll help you finish it, okay? So thank y'all for being here. Go get some more champagne.